Thank you so much, Giuseppe, for giving me the spotlight. I want to thank everyone for being here. Also, Giuseppe, for the invitation and for letting us the space so we can have this opportunity. Monica, Oscar, thank you as well. So, fact number two. So, my name is Marco. I'm currently a director of operations for an in-house call center inside of Santa Cruz. I manage currently 40, a team of 40 people, currently growing. Well, the fancy name for a call center is business processing outsourcing, but it's a call center. Uh, Quick and easy, managing financials, adaptability, changes, optimization of processes, lean methodology, Kaizen, all this in six, almost is going to be 7 years. So this is the first slide, but before we start over here, I want to give you a brief introduction on what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to give you a storytelling. I'm going to tell my story of a practical case. This happened to me in real life. I know it because I was there. So during this process, I'm going to tell you the story. We're going to go through 5 different chapters. On these chapters, well, I'm going to tell you my experience, what I dealt with. Of course, the positive things, but also, well, when things don't go that positive. So to give you a little bit of visibility in this project that I was working, I was dealing with a major retailer, right? So they were selling a ton of products, a ton of objects. So I mean, I'm not able to disclose what I was selling. So during this process, my client, well, this huge retailer comes to us and tells, I want to amp it up. I want to do better. What can we do to absorb more volume through chats? So, okay, we go through the pitching process. We give the opportunity to our client to tell them, we have a topper for you, no worries. Good. Now, in this portion, the client is already linked with us and we're already moving right to the implementation, to the deployment part. So how are we going to do this, right? We already closed business, all good on that section. And we sit down and we start again with the question, okay, how are we going to do this? Chapter number 1, planning and have your strategy set. I think that's really clear on that portion. So I sat down and I reviewed what was my first objective, as a director of, or the vision that I wanted for this project on this team, and on the team and on the client as well. So, okay, I want to do a seamless transition, make it easy for the client, make it easy for me, make it easy also for the team. I was handling a team at that moment of 80 people, handling 3 different channels, phones, emails, and chats. And I was also handling the staff members that compile around 9 to 12 people, and of course, different stakeholders. So a lot to orchestrate, if you ask me. So I sat down and I was like, okay, so for me, my main idea, or the core of the idea, is that I want to make this like smoothly as possible, seamless for everyone. So how do I do this? It was my question. So I started thinking, okay, I need to onboard, I need to bring into the team the key stakeholders that are going to be the people that is going to be engaging with me, with my operation, and also with the client. We need to review all the ideas and each and every step of the planning that we're going to complete to make this happen, right? So on top of the planning and strategy, well, we also need to have a clear roadmap or a map or a way of following on the steps that we want to achieve. I am super passionate about Gantt diagrams, is what it works for me, because you set the expectations, you review it with your stakeholders, you know what they're doing, everybody is clear on when are they going to start on the task and when are they going to deliver it. Point period, so you can move forward and you can follow up on your people. So that is like the first step of this particular chapter: reviewing, organizing yourself, planning, having your strategy set, and also, well, sit down with all the people that is going to be involved in this process. So I sit down, I review the actions that we're going to do, and also reviewing or having this idea and telling my stakeholders, I hear brilliant ideas. I hear everything is going to go okay, but I want to also you to think about what can go wrong. Because of course, everybody's excited. Everybody has this idea. Oh, new process, new projects. We're going to start, but we also need to keep in like present time what can go wrong, so we can also be a little bit prepared, or prepared so we can tweak it and move forward with it. Okay, so after we review all the strategic planning with all the stakeholders involved, I'm just gonna summarize a couple of departments, because we were like 10 different departments around everything, so we can ensure our client that we were going to deliver. Learning department, continuous improvement, workforce, IT, project managers, so we can have everything set. Uh, we, I mentioned like in these meetings, okay, we already have the steps that we're going to follow. We already have a clear visibility and idea of what we're gonna do, but I need a special treatment from the training department that we were handling. I need you to reel in on this portion, and I need you to help me on the seamless transition that we are preparing. I need you to explain the client, or I need you to onboard the client on the information that we are going to deal with on our standards of operations, or SOPs, that is going to be our Bible on each process that we're going to follow, and also on the steps that we're going to be following inside of like the operation. Again, seamless impact for the client, for the customers, and also for the operation. So the training department reels in. They tell me, okay, these are the guidelines that we need to follow through. This is how we're going to deliver this information to the entire operation, because we also need to prepare our team. I need to prepare my team at that moment on the idea that, okay, we have something new, but it's not going to be like, like when ducks learn to fly. I'm not going to toss you over there for you to wing your wings. So review it if you like. I already prepared, or have this idea in my mind that, okay, this is coming in. This is the a new thing that is going to bring like a little bit of a shake up into the operation. I need to reel in my team, and my team needs to be prepared for it. Well, I need a good training material and process for everyone to be on board, and this is time that is going to be invested as well, for everyone like to be prepared. So training team comes in, we review the material. We provide a clear visibility into our clients, and also to all the stakeholders, and even the leaders of the operation, the TLs, everyone in there, so they can know where are we going through, and we're moving forward with this, on how prepared the team's going to be. So there's also an important part of this, and besides you training your people, and I want to bring it to the front or to the present time, and the front of my mind as well, is that always be prepared to tweak something, to repair something, because you have a strategy, you have a plan, you have everything set in stone, but there may be a couple of downfalls during the implementation of something new. So I also, after talking to the training team, I move forward to the IT support department, all right? And I tell them, guys, I need you to let me know, right? How is this gonna go, and how sure this is going to be? Can you ensure me this is going to be effective? At that moment, the IT manager tells me, I'm sure that this is gonna be effective on an 85%. My answer was like, okay, what happened with the other 50%? This is not 100% certainty that everything's going to be just fine, right? So the IT manager tells me and everything the other 15% is going to be just fine. And I got, I need certainty on the actions that we're going to be taking for the other 50% of the project can go south, because this is going to be a major impact. A needle falls into this particular process is going to be a major impact in 3 different stages. I already mentioned them, operational, client-wise, and customer-wise as well. So the IT manager tells me, so what you want? And I'll tell him, I need a life support. I need a team dedicated to my project when we implement this, only to have the idea that we're gonna have the security that this is gonna go just fine. If something goes bad, I got you on speed dial, everybody jumps into a call and we fix it ASAP. I'm also providing the visibility to my client, to the brand that I'm working for. Hey, no worries. We have a major pitfall over here, but we're gonna be there to catch it really quick. So everything's set in motion. We already have the planning done. We already have the training support. We already covered the things that can go south. How can we make it better? How can we assure our client understanding again and have that stability that nothing in the business is going to be impacted? And of course, we're gonna have that money flowing. And then we move to having, like the idea of during this processes, many people is involved. It's not only me as the point of contact, operational center of everything, but also, well, different departments, different actions, emails are really mean, chats, calls, many things are currently happening, and well, you need to manage that at every level. It's not only like on the process of you observing everything and everybody, or you assume that everybody is like well connected to the information that we're dealing with. You need to ensure that we already are clarifying to everyone where are we heading. I already had a conversation with my team. I already had a conversation with the entire operation. Where are we moving to? And what is the purpose of this, right? It's not like somebody's gonna sit down on the computer, they're gonna be like, oh, what is this? We have something new real in. So there's also a dosified speech that we need to apply, that we need to manage as well to our team, for everyone to be prepared and for this not to be catched out of nowhere. I clarified this to the team because the previous or the things that were happening in the background, and I already set everything in motion. So I started delivering my speeches to everyone, talking to the team, mentioning like, yo, why the client is asking for this? Well, we want to amp up, we want to provide a premium service. That this particular brand delivers a high customer service, and everybody needs, like, this is something that the client asks, and it's going to improve your work, your everything, technically. Also, when I was having these conversations with all the team members at 2 or 3 different levels, well, I also need to, of course, handle the conversation, adapt, listen, actively listen, and take care of the information that is being poured over me. This effective communication portion is like an every different level, it's not only for the managers or my boss that is the country manager or whatever. It needs to be clear for everyone, and we need to be effective on the message that we want to deliver at every point. And we need to keep that streamlined of communication open. There's also a important point that happened during like this project as well, that challenges may come and challenge arrived during the implementation transitional process, but it's okay to accept that we have a challenge to overcome, or that we need to take care of, or that we need to absorb, which is completely fine, because sometimes we don't want to address a particular challenge that is happening, and the majority of the times what happens is like, oh, this light bulb is broken. You go like, and you put it on the huge carpet, like, no problem fix. No, we need to also be transparent on our challenges, on the information that we're receiving, that we're reeling in. Also super important with our main client. There is a particular conversation as well, in which you are talking to a client, and sometimes it's really, really complicated, not only to address a challenge inside of your operation, but with one of your primal clients. It's difficult to have a talk conversation towards the very end. Also, perhaps if you committed a mistake. But over transparency, over listening, conversational pipeline, having all this the streamline connected. Again, we're still continue, and we already have like everything set to make it happen, right? During this particular chapter, right, what I want to enhance as well is like the transparent portion. Of course, we will have to dosify the speech. There are different speeches that we have to handle at different levels, but it's also, again, it's good to clarify and to be transparent on the information that we're delivering to our people. So we move forward into this process, and we already on the deployment part, right? This is being deployed. Everybody is on the house on deck. My client is just standing like you on Christmas when you're going downstairs to open up your gifts. So the client is expected at least in my business a 2 hour a touch base every 2 hours. The client's gonna come in and they're gonna be like, "How are we doing? How's everything going? I see that everything's going fine. What are the challenges?" And so on. So you need to have, a stream of information in real time as well. So we go ahead and I sit down during this with the people that I like to call like the promoters, right? Is the people that we learned in that we talked about already and on that training portion that we handpicked to be the alpha testers of this new implementation of this new chatbot. And I sit down with them and they're gonna give me raw feedback on what it's happening, right? Of course, on the side, I also have people on call so we can review different challenges or the things that are not going okay. But it's really, really also important to identify the correct people that, and Oscar mentioned this in the previous, in his conversation, in his talk, sorry, on identify the people that is positive, that it's okay to have in your team, that you already like choose, that you like to work with. So they gave me the raw feedback. I'm having this constant conversation with the clients, different stakeholders, and we're making this happen. So overall, during the implementation, everything is going okay. Yes, on that 85% of positivity that I mentioned before. But at the same time, something happens. There's people, I know that there's people in my operation that is not okay. They're not happy with what we're doing. That although I deliver a certain amount of information, although I already had delivered the speech, or although I already talked to them, well, there is people that is a little bit like resistant to be on board of this process. So, okay, I tell the client, I think we are good for the day. Everything is coming down with the deployment. If something comes up, I'll come in, I'll contact you, and I go ahead and I address this portion. Well, how can you address it? Focus groups. You can have a roundtable. You can have one-on-ones, but of course, this will depend on the larger amount of the team that you have. If you have a team of 100 people, well, to do 100 one-on-ones is kind of complicated. But I go ahead and I review this particular team, or I start doing also like my focus groups. And this is like a really delicate, or I'll say sweet, well, I'm not gonna say bitter, type of conversation that you're handling, because imagine that you're sitting down or you're standing and you have 10 to 15, 20 people sitting down, and the first two people that hey, how's it going? Fine, fine. But there's going to be someone, and this happened to me in my project, that somebody raised their hand, and I'm like, I'm not happy with what you're doing. And I was like, oh, there's a ball going my way, and I need to catch it fast. At that moment that person tells me I'm not happy with what you're doing, and I'm like, okay, please elaborate on what you're telling me that you're not happy with, so I can have the details on what is happening. This process wasn't related to the tool itself, because then this person goes ahead and tells me, I'm not happy because I know I'm going to lose my job. And I was like, okay, I'm super glad that I was able to catch that fast. Okay, good. I have it already in my hand and it's burning. And this type of comments, when you are with a larger portion of people, they spread like wildfire. So there's an important thing to do. And please, well, I say please, but it comes with a little bit of experience. Just I've seen this, like, we're gonna talk about that later. We need to address it. There's no way on, throwing that ball away and put it away, like, didn't happen. Right. So this person goes ahead, they tell me this, and in like 5 seconds, I think, and I like super fast, because you need to know what you're gonna tell them on the spot. And I tell this person, okay, I understand that we're implementing a new tool, AI, but our client, the business that we are doing right now, is not in regards minimizing, the human labor, if I put it that way. Our client, what is looking is to enhance the customer experience and also enhancing your performance. Of course, we are currently dealing with a couple of changes. I totally understand. We're going to move forward with this. And that is the reason why I'm having this conversation. Okay, the person goes like, no, but that is not a certainty. Again, I understand that we are going to, or I was dealing with someone that it was really adamant, and that person was only focused on, I'm gonna lose my job. I need to look for another job. I'm gonna put food on the table, couple of the emotions over there. So I tell this person again, hey, I understand your point of view. I understand that, well, if this is something new because you are used to a pace, and we're bringing this change, but I provide something, nothing's gonna happen, because, and this is what I was thinking at that real time, and I want to be clear and transparent. If that was the case, I wouldn't be having a conversation with my team. That is a thing. So this person goes ahead, it cools off, everybody's, it's just like standing like, what are they gonna say? What is gonna happen? Because the room, again, is still filled with people. Conversations falls in as well. Other people address perhaps a couple of or they provide feedback on the tool, but this is something that I needed to be prepared on. More than likely is going to happen when an implementation goes into a project. Of course, again, if you're dealing with also larger numbers or a small team. Again, people have the idea that also AI is going to replace everyone, Terminator type of machinery, scenery type of situation. So I compile the feedback, I start reviewing it, filtering the feedback in real time so I can understand the next steps, the next things that I need to do. But with all the focus groups or the roundtable that I handle with the people that I talk, I celebrated their progress. The reason why is because they have been working for the project for an entire more than 6 months, people that is being dedicated to the project, and also they are undergoing a complete change on something new. So I tell them, I show a sign of appreciation, I celebrate their progress on, positive statements on what's happening, and I also tell them, hey, this is going to enhance your performance, which is going to make more easy the way that you're going to achieve your KPIs. Okay, so we already talked about 4 different chapters, and it's technically that, how do we start, how do we move forward with the team, the conversations, how do we prepare our team as well, which is a lot to digest, right? But the project should hit the project hit an stabilization moment. It's like when you hit calm waters, everything is smooth. We already deal with the debugging process of the tool. We already navigate the entire client, operation, customer through this entire change. But there is an important part of this, an important connection that we also need to take care of, and is a part of the portion of we are already calm, everything is okay. We need to now monitor, we need to review what's happening, we need to do that data analysis, we need to apply the quality portion as well, so we can know the overall improvement on the implementation of this chatbot. So I go ahead again during our planning process. Of course, we review all this. Everybody is being set because I will have to also deliver this information to my client, which is also really important. How this implementation is impacting our quality portion, how it is impacting the operation. Because more than likely, when you are working with clients this big, they're going to replicate or they're going to transform this into other businesses that they may have or business partners. So that is like on that point, well, it went okay into a certain degree. Again, I'm always going to also provide like the positive visibility on the things that didn't go that well. It went okay, but remember when I mentioned, hey, we have that 30% of the implementation that didn't went that good. The problem was that at the moment that we implemented the chatbot, well, the chatbot wasn't recognizing the actual object that the client was asking for. Again, the client was major retailer and we were handling a ton of products. So the client already undergo a conversation. And during this conversation, the client had to explain themselves again when they were talking to a human being. So the client was already frustrated, right? Not good, no bueno. So this impacted a little bit of our NPS, Net Promoter Score, and our CSAT, which is the customer satisfaction. I don't know how savvy you are in this. I'm just going to explain it for the sake of providing visibility what it means. Net Promoter Score, how likely is you to recommend the company? CSAT, customer satisfaction, how satisfied are you with the service provider? Simple as that. So the client was like, hey, minor speed bump, but I'm pretty sure we recovered. And I deemed this process successful because we already implemented a chatbot. I see the efficiency happening. Of course, let's just pour the data out. Let's review the clients that were impacted by this. We're gonna give them complimentary. It's fine. We want those win backs. And I was, of course, we already provided the visibility to the client as well. That this was going to happen. A couple of the clients were going to be impacted. So that is how, in a really short summarize, 5 chapters of my storytelling goes. Of course, there's another thing in the background because we had to apply a major amount of hours, on board and have different talks and everything. Yes, that happened, but I'm just summarizing the most as I can so you can have a visibility on what I did, on how do we handle these different challenges and how we, or how the client deemed this process successful. So moving forward, when you are dealing with change, implementing new things and your projects, startups, operations, there are a couple of things that I want to recommend to you when you are implementing or again doing some changes. Actively listen is really, really, really important. I mentioned it before. We need to listen to our people because towards the very end, if you are the leader, if you are the owner, the CEO of the company, well, you are not on the front line. It's okay to calm down, listen to your people. If you have someone that is on your second line or is your second liner, make them listen to the people actively. It's really important because through that feedback, you're going to action. And that is more, that's also on a core business point, always action upon your feedback. If you really receive feedback and you don't have the opportunity to action immediately, go ahead, provide the visibility to the people. Hey, this is damage. We're gonna fix it in 2 weeks. We're gonna fix it in 3 weeks. or are we gonna fix it if you're not centered of that timeline on this delivery, because it may happen. Everything looks good on a spreadsheet, but sometimes delays happen or occurs. And when you set the expectation to the people, they're gonna be there to collect for sure. So if it's gonna be on the 15th, people are gonna be like, where's my delivery? So it's really also important, like, to have that idea of action upon feedback, and also like set the expectations. During this entire process, that is what I did with my client, with the operation. I didn't went to my client, I tell them, this is gonna be successful in 100%, nothing's gonna happen. Because it doesn't work like that. I wish, there are many things in a personal life or in business that it can go south, You're driving your car and suddenly the engine explodes. You weren't expecting that. So providing the correct visibility and set the correct expectation will also set you on the right path to success. That is what I did. That is my personal experience in this particular project that I was handling. So that's it. Really short and sweet.